What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part today. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video we'll be taking a look at a classic sci-fi franchise that shocked audiences around the world with its captivating practical effects and story, and that is the original Planet of the Apes. Okay, so for this video we'll be taking a look at the original Planet of the Apes franchise that started with Planet of the Apes, which was released in 1968, and then ended with Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which was released in 1973. So let's start things off with Planet of the Apes. So like I said earlier, this movie was released back in 1968 and is actually based off a French novel, La Planète des Singes. Probably butchered that because I used Google Translate. Anyway, the movie takes place in the distant future where a group of astronauts crash land on what they think is a primitive Earth because the humans on this planet are pretty uncivilized and almost animalistic. To their surprise, apes carrying guns, spears, and nets come charging out of the bush and start hunting these humans down as if they were wild game. And right off the bat, I love how the camera just zooms in on these apes as the music changes the tone to show you that you've gone from hunter to prey in the blink of an eye. Fast forward later on in the movie, we soon see how these apes treat these humans as we watch these humans get locked up in cages, get killed and stuffed by taxidermists, or worse, get experimented on in labs. And while at first you feel bad for these humans, you forget to realize that we do the same thing to chimps and other apes in today's modern age. So it's crazy to see how the roles have changed in this film. Anyway, the film was mostly about this one surviving astronaut called Taylor who's trying to escape this ape city in order to find proof that man is capable of thought and reason. But as we get to the ending, the movie decides to have its big twist, and honestly, I really wish I could have been there back in 1968 to see how audiences reacted to this jaw-dropping moment when Taylor soon realizes that the planet he's on is actually Earth. Which leads us to Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and this was released back in 1970 and picks up after the events from the first movie where we follow another astronaut who crash lands onto the same planet and is searching for Taylor. And mostly the first act is pretty much the same plot as the first movie. This astronaut crash lands onto this planet, gets captured by apes, and is then taken to an ape city and then needs to escape the ape city in order to find Taylor. However, what makes Beneath the Planet of the Apes different from the first movie is that in the second and third act, things start to get pretty weird as we encounter a human cult that worships a nuclear rocket. Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to the weird part. Apparently, not only these humans are capable of thinking, but they're also mutated freaks that can read minds. Talk about swinging for the fences because wow, does the third act go crazy. And out of all the films in the Planet of the Apes saga, this one has the darkest ending. And one of the countless billions of galaxies in the universe lies a medium-sized star, and one of its satellites, a green and insignificant planet, is now dead. Wow. Honestly, that's pretty much the one word to describe this whole movie because it doesn't get any more darker than blowing up a planet. But even though that's the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes, we still have escaped from the Planet of the Apes, which was released a year later, and somehow it picks up after the events from the last movie. Now wait, how can this movie take place after Beneath the Planet of the Apes? Because at the end of that movie, the Earth gets destroyed. Well, somehow some of the ape scientists managed to rework the spaceship that the astronauts landed on, and when the Earth got destroyed, they were sent back in time to 1973 Los Angeles where our apes take refuge. Okay, if I'm gonna be honest, out of all the original Planet of the Apes films, Escape from the Planet of the Apes is by far the worst one. Throughout the entire movie, you watch these ape scientists try to live in a world where man is the dominant species. So pretty much a normal world to us. Now, while I don't enjoy watching these apes get dressed up, go to talk shows, or even go to boxing matches, the story does provide an overall background fear that is just looming over your head. In the movie, we see how paranoia can lead you down a dark path when we watch one of the human characters take matters into his own hands when he learns of what will become of humanity and of the planet in the distant future. And looking at his perspective, I can totally understand his violent actions. If we knew of what will become of humanity in the distant future where apes would rise to power and we would basically be their servants, I'm pretty sure the governments of the world would stop at nothing to prevent that from happening. Anyway, while this movie doesn't live up to the two previous films, the story, however, does introduce a character who will carry this entire franchise on his shoulders, and his name is Caesar. After Escape from the Planet of the Apes, we now move on to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, which was released in 1972 and takes place 20 years after the last film, where we see humans use apes as their everyday servants. We then follow Caesar, who is an intelligent ape because he is the surviving child of the two ape scientists from the last movie and is disgusted of how his own kind is being treated by the humans. Well, it doesn't take that much for him to snap because right in the middle of the movie, he starts to rally a small army of apes to rebel against the humans, and holy crap, does the third act get pretty violent. While Beneath the Planet of the Apes had the darkest ending where we practically saw a planet get destroyed, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes has the most violent ending because right in the third act, we watch these apes rise to power as they grab shields, batons, and guns, and they literally just start beating and killing cops left and right. I remember learning that this movie was so violent that the filmmakers went back to re-edit the third act of the movie before it was released to home video. But anyway, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is how we see these apes take over the planet, and looking back at the film, I can see how this movie took inspiration from Rise of the Planet of the Apes in terms of seeing these apes rebel against the humans and rise to power. With that being said, we now move on to Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is meant to be the final chapter of the original Planet of the Apes saga, where we follow Caesar lead a small village of man and ape in a post-apocalyptic world. One of the things that I really like about this movie is that you can see the similarities of this and Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, where we watch Caesar struggle to lead because while he accepts the humans, he doesn't completely trust them. And while he's busy dealing with the humans, he doesn't realize that some apes are conspiring against him. Just goes to show you that neither side is truly good. While there are bad humans in this movie, there are also bad apes. And as far as the battle is concerned, the final battle, the battle that will determine the fate of the planet, where we have to protect the good apes and the good humans, it's a bit of a letdown. Instead of a battle, we mostly get a small skirmish where we see the bad humans come over the hill yelling, "Charge!" 5 minutes later, retreat! And that's the end of the movie. So while I enjoy Battle for the Planet of the Apes, nothing is going to live up to the first movie. With that being said, if I had ranked these movies from top to bottom, it would be Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Watching these 5 films, I can see that there are some nods, references, and Easter eggs that are made in the new films, but I'll save that for another video. So if you like the new Planet of the Apes films, I highly suggest you watch the original Planet of the Apes because honestly, it's a sci-fi classic, and it's because of that one film that we now have a new trilogy of films where fans can get into this franchise. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review for the original Planet of the Apes saga. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.